Thank you, Quick Shot. And Comp, thank you also for joining me for this interview. Congrats on breaking the lose streak for Rogue. Before we talk about the past few weeks, I want to ask about the draft because Mad Lions banned Nila, which is a champion we haven't seen at all so far. So without revealing too much, I know, do you think we may see the champion in the future? And what's your take from what you've seen in solo queue so far, maybe?
Well, to be fair, first of all, thanks for having me. But
My
to
pleasure.
be fair about Nila, I don't really see it on solo queue a lot because I think it's just permaban, so it's just scrim data mostly. I think the experience thing is really toxic, honestly. If you can abuse it very well, you should always be 1 to 2 levels ahead on support every game.
I see. Well, we'll see if the champion pops at some point in the LEC. But as I said, you just broke the loss streak, and not again other than Mad Lions. Twice you beat them this split. But if you think about the past few weeks for Rogue, especially when you think about the early games, things have been difficult for you. How do you explain the recent results? And do you think the bad phase is behind you now?
I think we had I wouldn't say even a bad week last week. It was mostly just a bad weekend in the official games. I think the scripts were going decent, I would say. I wouldn't say like very well, but decent. So I was pretty... I thought it would just be a 2-0 week, but in the end we kind of got gapped, let's say, by better teams. I mean, I think our potential is way higher than what we have shown for now, at least. But I'm still very happy with how things are going, and I think we will be prepared for playoffs because that's the thing that matters mostly in the end.
It is in the end. We lost your camera, but we still have the voice, so we'll stay on me, but you can keep on talking. You mentioned potential just now. I want you to elaborate on that. Where do you see the potential, but why do you think we don't see it on stage maybe so far?
I don't necessarily think we haven't saw it on stage yet. I think we are just very inconsistent. So the best example is basically last week we just went 0-2 versus teams that were supposed to be easy 2-0s in my opinion. So I think as long as we're just consistent, we for sure have the level, and we for sure have shown some of this level even, for example, last playoffs versus Fnatic. I mean, I wouldn't talk about the GT series, but versus Fnatic, I think we've shown decent stuff.
All right. I want us to look at the standings right now because you mentioned consistency, which is something that's going to be really important, especially coming into the last 4 games. When you look at the state of the LEC right now and how close teams are together, what do you see for Rogue? And where do you hope you can end up by the end of summer?
Well, I think my camera's still lagging. I think we should probably still end up in first place. I'm not sure if it's completely in our hand right now. I mean, of course, basically what I mean is if we end up winning every game, but Matt still wins all their games, they're still first, right? So I'm not sure how that works exactly. But yeah, I mean, we are just aiming to win every game and see how it goes. For sure, everyone aims for first place, but we see.
You still have everything within your hands, and I'm glad to hear that last week was just a bad memory for Rogue. Comp, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully with a camera tomorrow. And we're going to take...
off, Comp.
All right, well, we're going to take a short break now. Thank you for joining me, Comp, and we're going to be back for the last game of the day in a few minutes with an on-fire audience, Excel versus G2 coming up next.